You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, in which a group of friends play Dungeons and Dragons on the internet for your amusement. This is episode number 257, posted September 2020. The One Who Poinged.
Hello, nerds, and welcome back to Total Party Kill, the continuing adventures of Dragonforge and Associates. I am, well, not your Dungeon Master, but a Dungeon Master. I'm Tony Sindelar. I am joined by several players who are going to introduce themselves in their characters in just a moment. Let us start with the one, the only, Erica Ensign. Hi, Erica.
I am the only Erica Ensign, but I am not playing only one character today. My main character is Flessa, the human rogue who is very small and very springy and very tumbly and likes shiny and sparkly things very much. Her best bud in battle is Acrid Torin Balasar, who is a dragonborn warlord who is very tall and big and black, and Flessa likes to climb up on Acrid's shoulders and do things from there. But I don't actually have Acrid's current hit points, so...
Write in, fans, and tell us how many there are.
Next up, it's Jason Snell. Welcome, Jason.
Hi, Tony. It's good to be back playing Dungeons and Dragons. I am playing Peter Dragonforge, who is a paladin human, and he's the leader of the party, mostly because he gave everybody a place to hang out in his parents' basement. Peter recently almost died, and now he is happy to be alive, but also does not want to shed more blood because he's afraid he's run out of blood. He's very close to having no more blood right now.
Which, let me tell you, it's good to keep some blood on hand. So, not on your hands, on hand. Also here, it's my favorite Steve Lutz.
Wow, that's quite a bold statement.
Yes, I don't know that many Steves.
Yeah, obviously not. Yes, I am here and still, after all these years, playing a Lestrin Quiverbottom, an elven ranger who not recently almost died. In fact, when he was very young, almost died, and has made him not the biggest fan of natural things. So that's where we're at. And now I think me and Peter might be on the same page about some of that.
That's right. Stay away from things that might give you
blood. Stay away from
things. Take your blood away. It's not good.
Things, I'm against them.
Things do cause most of the trouble in dungeons. It's true. Also here, it's Sarah Barber. Hi, Sarah.
Hi. I am playing Rizwan, a dwarven cleric who is wandering around Undermountain and supposedly was looking for some hints of her clan, but kind of has forgotten about that in the wake of many, many, many fun alligator eatings.
Indeed. And last but not least, your friend and mine, Monty Ashley. Monty,
Hi.
please be my friend.
I am your friend. I'm not the only Monty Ashley. There's a woman in Malaysia with that name. It's weird. I am playing Melik, the tiefling wizard, master of orbs. I also got a blast scepter recently, and it's crazy good.
So, previously on Dragonforge and Associates, you traveled into Undermountain in search of the halfling Enda Yates, who had one last clue about the last fate of one Rutherford Ermbrusk. You met up with Enda, and in return for her helping her steal some giant rubies that she had gone into Undermountain looking for, she gave you what information she had. You have all the clues to the puzzle, but you need to get back to the surface and put those clues together and survive before you'll ever rescue Rutherford Ermbrusk. You currently find yourself getting toward the upper levels of Undermountain and have stumbled into an area known as the Five Trials. There are a series of chambers with strange kind of motifs and fancy names that I invented. You have already successfully navigated the Hall of Fire, the Sanctum of Vials. Is that correct? Yeah, Sanctum of Vials.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And from each of those, you retrieved a magic key. Two doors remain. One of them has been opened and peeked through. One of them has not been opened, remained unexplored. One of them has kind of an ice motif on it. The other one has like a blood drop on it. And there is, in the central area where all of these chambers converge, a series of tiles on the floor with dwarven letters that kind of glow and pulse. And you have discovered that when one places a key on certain tiles, they glow green instead of red. Is that correct? So far, so good?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yes.
Sounds right.
Any other details you would like to remind yourselves of? Because, listeners, a peek behind the curtains, it has been 3 months since we played this game.
We got this cool skull. We met a skull. His name's Murray.
Indeed. Trapped forever, or at least for a while, in the Sanctum of Vials is one Murray, is it unkind to say former adventurer? An adventurer who
He's
is
He's still
currently
adventuring.
He's in
Yeah.
a dungeon solving a puzzle right now.
Yeah, he's having
Okay.
quite the adventure right now, actually, because he turns
Yeah.
into a skull.
Yeah,
It's true.
He has not totally come to grips with that. He does just appear to be an inanimate skull sitting on the ground who drank from a vial that was the wrong vial.
Yeah.
He has made references to his fellow adventurers who there is no sign. It's unclear how long Murray has been here. He thinks it's been a little while. It's possibly been more than 100 years.
Also,
Yeah.
a bunch of us stripped skin off of the champion, and we were promised boots or something when we got to the surface.
Indeed.
So don't forget that.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
sure that's in your notes. That
Magic
sounds really
boots or a
important.
magic belt based on the champion's alligator skin. Yeah.
I found a trophy for 17th place in an archery contest, and I gave it to Alestrin
Yeah, I have that. I treasure it.
to
That
highlight.
feels like a real backhanded compliment to give to your archer.
It was the best trophy I had.
Also, a bunch of us got things in the Sanctum of Vials, so everybody should probably check your character sheet and see what it was you got, because pretty much everybody looked for stuff before we found the key. Somebody found a potion of no lie,
adventurers,
which I think
any
was
other
accurate.
details? / where to next?
Well, we got 2 more trials, it looks like. 2 more puzzles to solve.
Flessa says, I'm happy to tumble down any more hallways you need me to.
I want you to give the Chamber of why do not you give the Chamber of Blood a try?
Also got the Den of Ice if you want less blood.
Yeah, but the Den of Ice doors are closed already, and the Chamber of Blood's doors are open, so it's a little easier to get in there. The light's
When
better
we get
over
to the
here.
ice, can I slide down the corridor like I'm just wearing socks on a shiny floor?
Only if it's safe.
Oh, fine.
If we do the Chamber of Blood first, you can go to the Chamber of Ice and freeze it later. If you have a reason that you want frozen blood.
And so you stand in the foyer of the Chamber of Trials.
And so we
with-
do.
Best deal.
with the
Antechamber.
with the dwarven sigils on the floor representing a variety of letters from the dwarven alphabet. Let me just read them for you again. N, F, T, whatever Flessa's obscuring, W, L, H, T, I, J, K, R,
Itchker.
V, Q, M, and B.
Well, come
My
on.
eyes... You know, I was going to make a joke about a vision test, but my eyesight's not that great, and that was hard for me.
Aw.
Well, it's light orange on light gray.
Yeah,
I made
tricky.
this graphic. That's on me. So
Yeah, and there's like a
It's
blue
true.
glowing square behind
Better
each of
one,
them that makes it even
better
harder.
2. Better
Yeah.
1, better 2. Can you? Tony? What's the highest level of letters that you can read clearly?
they're all the same size.
Oh, no.
So that would be the top one.
You're
Also-
perfectly fine.
The
Also the
highest
bottom
level
one.
you can read? That
Yeah.
giant E is pretty clear.
Oh, sir, that's a B.
Oh, no. B, get it away.
Just
These are
one.
the jokes, folks.
There's a
Just-
vial of
just-
bees in the Sanctum of Vials, by the way.
to the
I
blood.
believe there was. I think that's canonical.
To the blood hall.
is that what
going
you've
down the blood
decided?
hall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you wish to do here in the foyer before you enter the hall leading toward the Chamber of Blood?
I'd like to do a
love
little
to take a
dance.
look in the foyer
Yeah.
and see like what we can see.
Tony,
Well, that's just the room you're in.
I love when you turn on the foreboding thing and it's just in normal sentences. It's like, I need to go to the mailbox to check if there are bills.
That's
Bills should
foreboding.
be said that way.
This is how I talk. It's a serious condition,
okay.
and it is not recognized enough.
I'm not being sarcastic.
There's a bunch of people at my work that don't understand sarcasm, and they have a very interesting opinion of me.
They sound great.
They just think I'm an eternal optimist. It's very weird. Specifically, I was hinting that I think Steve had mentioned something during technical difficulties that I am friendlily reminding him.
About the antechamber, about the vestibule.
I believe Olestrin wanted to swap the keys around.
Olestrin would love to swap the keys that are currently on the F and the I to see if it makes
yeah.
any difference which
Okay.
room the key came
Flessa
from.
will skip over to there just to be not on one of them. While
Okay,
it
does
happens.
anyone want to be standing on any of the... So, can you describe to me very specifically, Olestrin, step by step, what you're doing? And I need to know where everyone's standing. If you don't like where you are on the map, now is the time to change it.
Oh, boy.
And is anyone
here.
carrying Murray?
Murray and I are hanging back here in the Hall of Potions.
All right.
I'm
I
not
am-
carrying him right now. He's on the ground, one square next to me.
You're just jawing with each other?
I'm going to pick up the key off of the I, and Flessa, if
Do you
want to
remember
pick up...
which key that was?
It was the key from the Sanctum of Vials.
We're boning up on dungeon history.
So I'm going to lift up the key off of that, which is the same order
The
that we
tile
placed
stops
it on
glowing,
there.
or it goes back to glowing red.
All right, Flessa, if you want to pick up that key off the F that you're by there,
Sure. I'll just reach out and grab it if I can.
and then
Done.
we'll toss them to each other.
Acrobatics checks for each of you.
Really?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, why not?
Steve, I'm not a nice person.
You're
I am
not.
pleased
I know.
that an acrobatics roll is my first
I'm
roll,
standing
I know
over in
you.
the
You're just
corner.
being sarcastic.
even though it's a really
Steve,
crappy roll.
It's DC 5.
I'm standing in
I
the
got an
corner
18.
scratching my head with my mage hand.
I also got an 18 because I rolled a 3.
All right.
Awesome.
You guys like do it at the same time,
Simultaneous.
which is unnecessary.
Awesome.
All right, you're now both holding the other key. So
Are we going to do this at the same time, Alestrin?
No, why don't we do it
Olestrin,
the same order as we did it last time?
You're
just
holding the fire
We're only
key,
changing one variable. So if you
which
want
feels
to...
warm to the touch.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh. Flessa, you might have a fever.
Flessa, you're holding the vial key. It feels vile to the touch. It feels like a key.
I think she
Ew.
should put the
Okay.
the key down on her F square first.
Okay.
Do you
So
want to
when
step
Alest-
back before that happens, Alestrin?
No, I'm cool.
Okay.
So when Alestrin tells me to do that, I just toss it down onto the F.
The tile glows a pleasing green.
Nice. Okay, I will set down
I'm
this.
pleased.
I will set down the fire key on the I.
It also glows a pleasing kind of green pulsing.
All right. So I guess keys are keys, at least as far
Keys
as we know.
are indeed keys, listeners, players, adventurers. This is the lesson that Total Party Kill has taught you. Keys are
Keys is keys.
I think it's going to spell lift, and this will whole be a magical elevator.
And I'll go.
Could be.
A very practical one.
Flessa doesn't really understand, but sure.
I think it's
I
going to
do-
spell Fimba.
Spelling is tough.
There is all of the different beginnings of the letters of fire, vials, blood, and ice. On.
Yeah, but we tried the V previously and it did nothing.
we?
Didn't do anything.
Okay.
So we put it on the I instead. And so this just further reinforces that the keys don't really have to match up to the specific letter.
As far as we can tell with the colors. I mean, there might be other colors that we're actually aiming for.
Right.
Yeah, maybe green is bad.
That would be
Maybe
weird.
it's poisonous.
But,
Yeah.
dungeons, who knows?
Maybe the
knows?
person who made this is colorblind.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, man.
All right.
Hey, why don't we check out another hallway?
Hey, great
Yeah,
idea.
sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm checking down the blood hallway.
All right.
All right,
The
I'm heading
blood
back over
hallway
boy.
goes for a good 25 feet before it kind of takes a 45-degree turn. It's pointed northeast, I think you would call that. And then it takes a turn straight east. You can't really see around the corner, but it looks like the hallway goes a ways.
Hey, Murray doesn't have any blood. Maybe you could roll him down there and he could tell us what's in the corner.
He got to be a popcorn bowl. Now he can be a bowling ball.
So I'm
So
Guys,
many
I
new
forget-
avenues have opened up to you, Murray.
I forget what Murray's voice sounds like.
I think it sounded a lot like you, Tony.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But, I don't
Tony,
know how I feel about that idea.
How about this? I will pick Murray up with my mage hand.
Hold on. I'm looking up how much a human skull weighs.
I love it.
Oh man.
Well,
It's not very much.
It really isn't.
I can carry up to 20
you know what?
pounds.
Oh,
He's
is it
empty.
20 pounds? I thought it was 10 pounds.
It's 20 pounds in this edition.
And a human skull is definitely not more than 10 pounds.
Yes, I would
Human
like you to
head
know.
weighs
Based,
weighs 8 pounds. I saw it in that movie that one
In
time.
that movie,
If
yep.
my head were made
Okay.
out of veal, which I know it is not,
Wait, does Murray actually have flesh on his head, or is
No.
it just the skull?
Just a skull.
Then yeah, super light.
according to a thoroughly researched Google search and looking at the top result, the human skull of an adult is usually 10 to 11 pounds.
I believe I learned that from Gavin on
Is
Kids
that
in
like
the Hall.
a head or a
Pretty
skull?
Only serves to remind me how much Tony
Skull.
Sindelar looks like
I'm pretty
Bruce
sure
McCulloch.
that's the head. The skull
So
is not.
we
the
know
head.
But-
that
but
Melik
J-
has gonna have no problem moving
But
Murray,
anyway, yes.
floating Murray down there.
I thought he could only lift 10 pounds. Sounds like he can lift 2 skulls.
Fourth
So-
edition.
I was trying to check for traps down the blood hallway.
Well,
I
someone just pushed a magic skull into your field of view.
cool.
as you do.
But Rizwin, it looks like you rolled. Is that a perception check?
That was a perception check.
You study the hallway with your keen dwarven eyes and feel extremely confident that there are no traps within view. The hallway looks free of any kind of ornamentation or indentations or magical or mechanical or otherwise because you rolled a 20.
Hey, Melik,
Flessa is like,
if you do the
starting to-
soliloquy from Hamlet while you're pushing Murray down the hall, I'll give you a prize.
Is
Flessa's
it
itching
an
to go.
archery trophy? Because he doesn't want that.
You ruined the surprise.
Oh. This archery trophy is turning into like the fruitcake of your adventure.
I thought that was me.
Yeah.
all right.
There it is.
Does anybody object to walking down the hallway?
I want to go, I want to go, I want to go.
Oh, there goes Murray.
All right.
Murray is going to do some floating. Oh, this is great.
I
This
love
is great
this.
stuff.
Murray, what do you see?
I'm not letting Murray get out of my sight. I'm just
Oh,
kind
no,
of.
Flessa.
Murray-
Hang back,
Mur-
Flessa.
Fine.
Murray, Monty, which way are you facing, Murray?
Yeah, rotate Murray so he's facing east.
For listeners on the audio-only
Also,
podcast.
There we go.
my mom says the average skull weighs 2.5 pounds empty, 11 to 14 pounds fully loaded. So there you go.
Well, we
Thank you.
did try to get popcorn in there. We use them as a bowl, so maybe.
It's true.
There might
10
still be a few stray kernels floating around.
10 pounds
He's
did
spilling
seem
some
heavy.
popcorn.
So Murray is looking to the east, and you hear him call out, "Good boy, are ya?"
Sorry, what?
Well, he's way down at the end of the hallway, and he's facing east, so...
Can I go listen?
Just
Spin,
no.
please spin Murray so we
Yeah,
can hear
Melik,
what he's saying.
spin-
I'll
spin him.
rotate him so he faces us.
Oh, yeah. There's more hallway and a door.
Cool.
Can I go? Can I
Cool,
go?
cool.
Can I go?
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
we can go.
I peek around the corner.
I'll stay here for now.
This is fun. This is like my old days, adventuring, peeking around corners, drinking from vials, the whole bit.
Yeah.
You're doing a really good job, Murray.
Thank you.
Which-
It's good to be, it's good to kick the dust off.
You're an adventurer again.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, are these hallways lit, or is my torch?
Your torch is providing light.
Okay.
Somebody could
Hey-
technically cast light on Murray's skull and then
Oh.
float him.
That might
That
be
sounds
confusing.
amazing.
Is
I'm gonna
Hey,
check for traps in this hallway.
Yep.
Can Murray see in the dark?
Unclear.
How he can
Hey,
see it
Murray,
all.
when you were floating down the hallway a moment ago without any light source, how well could you see?
I guess okay. It was a little dim.
Well,
Would you like to glow?
It's really fun. Say yes. Say
Yeah.
yes.
I will cast light on Murray.
Guys, this is like the best day I've had, I think, all week.
Yeah, you're a great guy, Murray. We're really having fun with you.
I
I'm
am
going to float
concerned-
you down this hallway now. Let us know if there's a monster.
Okay, as your dungeon master, I'm slightly concerned for Murray's sake that he is becoming closer and closer to a flame skull. But
We're going to sell him to Doom when we're done with this.
yeah. So Murray floats down the hall. You can see him at the end of the hall. There's a single set of doors. double doors, if you will.
What if a bunch of adventurers went into a dungeon and instead of doing the investigations themselves, they had a magic skull that was glowing that they could send and float it down the hallway? I love this.
Jason.
We are the most brave of all adventurers right now.
Hey, entire fantasy series have been launched on less than that.
Yeah, this is not even the third time I've had to deal with this situation. I've got a list of repercussions.
All right.
Did I find any traps with a roll of 20?
You do not see any traps in the hallway that Murray is floating down. Murray is floating quietly in front of the set of doors on the south side of the hallway.
Cool.
From the other room, Alestrin yells, "What's going on? Do you guys find anything? Is there blood?"
It's
really
a
hard to
hallway.
find.
Oh my god, it's terrible.
He's a long way away.
We'll go back. There's a hallway, and it turns, and then there's some doors.
Okay. You guys need any arrows? Let me know.
Are you just going to stay there? Are you not playing this game now, Illustrious?
Well, I'm hanging around.
I feel like
in
it's
the
not a
room.
bad idea to have somebody behind. Like,
Yeah,
what if the door slams and it needs to be like Acrid is also hanging back with the Lestern, making sure the door doesn't slam shut.
just chilling.
Peter's going to be at the pivot point as a relay.
Okay.
Good old pivot point Peter.
That's right.
I'm going to peek at the door and see if it has any traps.
Trying to keep
I'm
my
not
blood
the
this
greatest
time.
at this, but I'm curious.
Oh, you're in the right place.
Roll a perception check for peeking at a door.
23.
Okay. You study the stone door closely. It's very ornate, fine dwarven craftsmanship. There's a bunch of kind of scenes of droplets that could be water, but maybe are not because they look like they might be coming out of people. And kind of images, kind of abstract images of carnage and destruction.
Still could be sweat.
The door appears untrapped.
Is it locked?
The door appears unlocked.
Can I open it, please?
Okay,
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So Flessa prepares to open the door to the Chamber of Blood. Melik and Rizwin are hanging out nearby with Melik is inching slightly back.
And I brought Murray with me.
Peter is a good 20 feet, 30 feet, maybe more down the hall. And Alestrin and Acrid hang back another 30 feet behind him. This is what adventuring looks like. All right. I'm going to reveal the room and then describe it to our listeners.
Look, I was almost eaten by a crocodile, okay? I mean,
Almost.
Okay. I was eaten by a crocodile, okay? I just barely made it out.
Are you still talking about that? That was like an hour ago.
That was like 6 months ago.
Yeah. Flessa, before you is a scene from the abyss. You're not sure which of the 9 hells this chamber is on loan from, but it's probably one of the really bad ones. You
The one with Ed
stand
Harris?
on the edge of what can be only described as a lake of blood. A stone platform halfway across the chamber divides the lake into 2 large pools. Several stone islands dot the lake. Most notably, the large ones are occupied by imposing-looking bronze minotaur statues holding long, barbed
I
whips.
hate statues.
2 far islands in the distance have pedestals with glinting objects sitting upon them. Welcome to the Chamber of Blood.
Thanks.
Why do you think they call it that?
It's probably just a marketing thing.
Can I see what's on the far islands over there? It looks to me like there are key tokens, but I can't tell if
Give me
Flessa would
a
be able to see it.
perception check.
Sure. I am not close enough to a Lestrin to get that bonus, so for 21.
21, hard to say. I'm going to say it looks, something shiny is over there. It's far away. It looks small.
Shiny!
Something shiny. Somebody grab Flessa.
Okay, this is what I want to do.
Oh no.
I got a little running start. So this is a statue, correct? A statue of a bronze minotaur?
Yes.
Okay, statues are scary. So I don't want to just jump onto it. What I want to do is I want to run the 2 squares to the edge of the lake. I want to leap over and then basically just use the statue to like poing off of it and end up back on the same shore. Basically, as a test to see if the statue is going to start moving after I have touched it. And then
So
I can
you-
run out the door if I'm scared.
So you are going to poing a statue.
I am going to poing at a statue. Yep.
Okay.
Basically bounce
Um,
off.
That's really only a square to do it, and you are incredibly acrobatic. Give me a simple roll, basically just to make sure that, somehow you don't twist an ankle and die.
I'm going to start coming down the hall, lest I'm needed.
That's a 17 plus 15. I don't
All
feel
right.
like doing that math.
Flessa, you run into the room. There's a nice little 10-foot ledge. You leap off the ledge, gracefully fly through the air and bounce, pushing yourself off of the 20-foot tall bronze Minotaur statue and landing back more or less where you started. And you know what? I think probably you should roll initiative, and I'm just going to roll a die just for fun over here.
Okay. Ugh, that's not a great
We all roll an initiative?
Not yet.
I mean, that had to be a surprise to the statue, right? It was a surprise to me.
They actually came in, thought the statue. I thought they were going to wait out there forever.
And I really didn't think I was going to get poinged today.
You never expect to be poinged.
It's true.
I got an 11.
You got an 11. Let me tell you.
You always kind of hope.
The statue got a 27.
Am I close enough to also roll initiative?
Yeah, why not? Feel free to roll initiative if you
I got
nearby.
a 22.
All right. So,
I'm sort of nearby.
you pulling off the statue, Flessa, land gracefully by the doors. Oh, I forgot to open the doors. Hold on. This is my favorite part.
Creak.
It's pretty exciting.
And land there. You're feeling pretty good about things when the statue starts to move. You are testing for this, and you're not surprised that it moved, but by the speed at which it moves, as it flails its horrible brass, metal, articulated whip around the room, coming in your direction.
Eep.
16 versus your armor class.
That's got to be a miss.
That does not hit.
All right. You nimbly dodge out of the way as the statue whips. The whip goes like in a huge circle around the room. So I'm going to say, has everyone rolled initiative?
Not yet.
Yep.
I can roll for Acrid.
Now I have.
There's a giant statue, and it's whipping things.
Mm-hmm.
Been there.
Did the cream set out too long?
Yes, it all turned into blood.
Oh,
This used to be the Chamber of Cream. They did not think their long-term plan out at all.
how long does it take for cream to turn into blood?
A long time.
It's been there for a while.
It became sentient.
Well, then I have it on good authority that you should not whip it.
Well, tell the
Might-
statue.
Might
Don't
rise up.
whip it
It might rise up.
before the cream sets out too long. I told you this.
You know we didn't build this place.
Murray doesn't get a turn. He moves on Melik's turn.
That makes sense.
Is Murray short for the name Murray?
Yes.
Nice.
Are you acknowledging my reference?
Yeah, caught it
you.
last time. You should really be doing the voice, though.
I can't. Do I have everybody in the initiative order, or did I miss somebody? Someone's missing. Fless is missing.
Yeah, the poinger herself.
Yes.
The one who started it all.
It's
The
somebody
one-
woulda.
The one who poinged.
We were all hanging back.
That's a title of her autobiography. Probably biography.
All right.
Plus, is not writing anything herself.
I have sorted you in descending order. The statue already went. Melik, you are next to react.
Oh boy, here we go. 4th edition. I totally remember how this works.
I yell, the statue tried to whip me.
Unacceptable.
Only I can whip you.
I will
Consent
move
first.
to there.
Jason, write down Flessa Poinger of Statues for a title.
That's a poinger of statues.
All right, Melik, you scamper forth satanically.
Hey, did we do a long rest recently?
We did.
Probably.
We should all have an action point then, right? One action point.
I currently have one action point. I did reset all of my encounter powers.
I don't have any listed.
Yeah, I think you've
but
had
I-
a series of. I think I let you count the fire chamber as an encounter, and you spent one encounter eating popcorn. So
But I don't think we got our dailies back.
Yeah, at the end of a long rest, you get 1 action point.
Okay. Does the statue's feet appear affixed to the ground, or is he looking like he's moving around?
They look pretty affixed to the ground.
All right. Then I will not try to... I will really want to, though. All right. I will not try to slide him into the blood, as much fun as that would be.
I mean,
There
but
are
what if
two-
it worked?
Well, if it doesn't, then
Maybe the ground will move too. Maybe this is like a sliding tile thing.
Could.
I'm going to use hypnotism, which is an intelligence attack versus will. I'm going to try to make this statue attack
Statue's name is Will?
Yes. I'm going to try to make
The other one is Grace.
The other one's way.
Yep, I'm going to try to make Will attack Grace.
I like it.
It's
So-
not confusing at all.
Will
the
is
other,
the
the other
one
one's
close.
name is clearly Way, since this was
Well-
the room of cream.
Here comes an attack roll. I rolled a total of 14 versus Will on the northern statue.
All right. So, first off, I had to check, does this statue have a will defense? Somewhat confusingly, as far as I'm concerned, it does. And it is better than 14.
Okay.
That's
Then
surprising.
That's it,
I
then.
was surprised twice, both that it had a will and that it was higher than 14. All right. So that was Melek. You stand in the door casting some kind of magic spell that I don't even know if you identified, but you're not.
Hypnotism, I said.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I thought it had like a cooler name, but it was a form of hypnotism.
Well, I'm sorry. This is a boring spell. It
Can we
didn't
call
work.
it Melek's hypnotism in the future?
If it ever works, then yes. This is
Okay.
regular hypnotism, the bad one.
All right. Rizwin, you are next. You stand in the corner of the hallway within full view of Flessa being attempted whipped by a horrible brass minotaur in the Chamber of Blood.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I do. I don't really know what to do. I can't reach the thing. I guess I can try to Sacred Flame him.
You could try.
Sure, I'll Sacred Flame him. I have to move, I think, 1 closer to be within 5.
Mhm.
And Sacred Flame, which is versus Reflex.
Does this statue have a reflex?
18.
Not that good. All right, roll me damage.
Okay. Let's see. Not very much, but hey, I'll take it. 5 damage.
All right.
Boing!
Pling, you like melt a little bit of the Minotaur's metal arm with your sacred flame. Peter Dragonforge, you lead from the back. You are standing there behind your compatriots, still shell-shocked from near Crocodeth. What will happen next?
Crocodeth.
So this chamber, the blood, is it like pools of blood? It's like a river of blood?
I think the noun I used was lake or possibly ocean.
Okay. Well,
Lake.
the bad
It means
news.
fresh. This is freshwater blood.
Okay.
What?
I'm going to move forward.
All
at
right,
least
just
for
to get engaged in some lake tourism. Yes.
Thank you. And I'm going to chuck a javelin because I have no range attacks, nor, as we know, can I jump over things. So
It is, well, and just to paint the picture for our listeners, it's, swear it's 5 feet. I know how to play Dungeons and Dragons, right? It is but 5 feet to the modest size island in the middle of the, that is more or less fully occupied by a bronze minotaur. It is a good 20 feet to a island not occupied by a bronze minotaur.
Yeah.
So,
And I can't do anything about that. So I'm just going to throw a javelin because that's the saddest, lamest thing I can
Plus,
do.
I gained 4 hit points, by the way, because apparently a side effect of Sacred
I
Flame.
bet you could find something sadder and lamer.
Well, falling in the blood, but that was probably going to come later. It's only a 12.
Look, you've gone in the sewer like 3 times.
Is that real hit points or temporary hit points?
Temporary hit points.
Okay.
your javelin fails to connect with the bronze minotaur. Jason,
Typical.
let's not say anything bad about javelins. That's like an Olympic sport, right?
Yeah.
So
Olympics are canceled.
is
Yeah,
Peter
it's not
is
me.
Peter Dragonforge is anti-Olympics?
Peter Dragonforge did not qualify for the Olympics.
You
at
guys
javelin.
can't say the Olympics. It's the famous sporting event that happens every 2 years.
The big
It's
games.
the Undermountain Games, okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Spoiler, this adventure takes place in Greece.
Peter Dragonforge.
You said it was blood.
Is Peter Dragonforge does not feel as if he's going to be any help here, but he's going to provide moral support for his friends because he doesn't have any ranged attacks and cannot jump.
And you are now within range of the horrible statue.
Yes.
Alestrin, Quiverbottom, you are hanging back a good, I don't know, many feet back there. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I'm
You are
enjoying
in
this hallway.
an adjacent zip code.
I am, yes. It's very exciting. If I were to
elfing it up.
if I were to make it to this square here, do I have line of sight on that guy? Can I take a shot
I will
from him?
generously say yes because I can't stand anything in Dungeon. The only thing I hate more than rope is figuring out lines of sight.
All right. It seems like I should be able to anyway.
You
but
know what
yes.
would be great for figuring out lines of sight? Don't say it, but it would be some kind of string-like substance.
Lines.
Well, I was going to
Are we not
rope.
allowed to say rope now either?
Well,
Not unless you want to make it mad.
Did somebody copyright rope?
Fourth edition is
So
weird.
Tony, what you're saying is we should do something with rope.
I regret everything.
Not a bad idea.
Fair.
So I'm going to go down the hall here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares, which does not get me to that square, but then I am going to perform a nimble strike, which allows me to shift 1 square before my attack.
I just like the idea that you run down the hallway and you're not quite there, and then you
I stop and then I just kind of go
nimbly shift 5 more feet.
and then I take a shot with an arrow, which is what I do.
Maybe when you're
And-
level 5, you're just going to be like a guy who's really into swords.
I get a 23 versus AC.
That definitely hits a giant bronze minotaur statue.
Marvelous. That will do 10 points of damage.
Okay, you plug it in the head.
Cool.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, Flessa, you stand beyond the threshold of the Chamber of Blood. A minotaur statue has attacked you. What will you do next with your last remaining moments in life?
Well, I feel like that's a long way away, so I'm not going to think about that yet. I'm
Well,
just going to think about what I'm going to do
I
with
don't know what unit of measurement a moment is.
my next remaining moments of now. As tempting as it is to poing back over there and smack it in the face, I have a very healthy fear of statues, so I'm just going to sly flourish it from here.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I'm really scared of statues. That is an 18 versus AC.
Let me tell you that the statue's AC is 18.
Yay! All right. In that case, it is getting 7 points of dagger damage.
Okay.
So
The statue is noticeably dented up from all
good.
of you.
I was going to say that these tests sometimes do involve things like can we kill the statues? Maybe we can. I do wonder about whether we can. I don't know if we can avoid fighting these statues. Maybe we just have to do that. Yeah.
I think
All
we
right.
can avoid them. There's these keys down there. Maybe we just go around the whole thing.
How
They
far
got a
does
long
the
whip that takes up most of the chamber.
your
So.
mage hand go?
My mage hand moves 5 squares per turn.
And how far away from you can it get?
It doesn't say. I'm guessing forever.
Whoa.
I mean, does it have to be within line of sight? Which is not, which
That's not a
could
problem.
be anywhere in this room, but just in life.
It doesn't say that in the description.
Like,
Fancy.
does it provide you vision? Do you see what the hand sees?
No.
Then you wouldn't need to attach a skull to it to report back, I guess. So,
My hands work even if my eyes are closed.
yeah, but
Plus
your
you can
hands
see
can
a sparkly
see.
thing from here.
Look, I am not going to explain hands and eyes to you, sir. But
Damn it. Listeners, if somebody knows how those work, please
Please write
tweet
it.
Tony so that he can tell me.
Yeah, right now, as you're listening to this, several months after we've recorded it. Also, this is Monty. I promise to only make fun of you this much on your turn, so I'm done.
I am also done with my turn. Flexes.
All right.
I'm going to just stay put where I am. I'm
And yet,
ready to
Erica,
spring.
it is your turn again, for
It
it
is.
is the turn of Acrid Belsazar?
Ekrid Torin Belisar
Balasar, who is quite a ways away.
has been guarding the door, hears the telltale sounds of battle, and then does what Akrid would absolutely do in this case, and that is to run toward the battle, which, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 2 extra squares. And then for the second movement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 2 extra squares. So she now has a -5 to hit anything and is granting combat advantage if anything comes at her, but she still has not even made it to the room. So that's what she's doing.
So
Huffing
she
and
is-
puffing.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
You have a very good Akron impersonation. I'm concerned if you might have a very convincing Georgia impersonation.
I think maybe Georgia and I just sound similar enough that it comes easy. I
Okay.
feel like I haven't worked for this at all.
That's unearned. That's the way we like it here. Total Party Kill. All right. I believe next in the initiative order is your friend and mine, Bronze Minotaur statue. Somebody who is, a very established Undermountain explorer might know that these are blood taker statues. They literally take blood.
Oh,
How
no.
do they
Well,
take that blood? Via whip. I am rolling 2 dice as this attacks both Flessa and Peter Dragonforge. I got
Oh,
2
boy.
dice here.
They
Orange.
have like an ocean of blood right there. Why don't they just take that?
How do you
They
think
need
they
more
got
blood.
that?
That's
got
their
more-
horde.
Yeah.
You know how
Peter,
it is.
you cannot hold on to your blood. What is up with that?
You never
Orange
have enough
dice,
blood.
Flessa, green die, Peter. Orange die was lower. Orange die is 21 versus AC. Green die is 23 versus AC.
Damn.
Orange die, Flessa. Flessa, 21 versus AC.
Yeah, even actually, how close do I need to be to Peter to get the extra +1 to my AC? It doesn't matter because that just brings it up to 21. I'm just curious if I even have that. It just says +1 near Peter, and I don't know if that was a temporary thing. I just have it written down.
I
That
think
might
that's
be a temporary.
That's a temporary thing.
That
yeah.
sounds like somebody
Okay.
That
popped
was
a
a-
daily.
That was
Okay.
that was not.
All right. In that case, yeah, it hits.
Peter, 23 versus AC.
My AC is 23, or did it go up? No, we do a thing where it went up. We got some.
We had pluses for an encounter.
Oh, it was
And
just for the
that
encounter.
encounter
'Cause
is
I've
over.
got a +2 here.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
that
then it
was
hits
just for
me.
that encounter.
All right, bad news. I rolled max damage for both of you.
Oh, no.
You each take 11 damage. It gets worse. Hold on. You are slid 1 square and knocked off your feet
Okay.
by a giant brass whip.
Can
Great.
that happen to me? Oh, yeah, it can, but I can stand up it from prone as a minor action. So, I have
So
boots.
the brass whip catches both of you, inflicting maybe an annoying amount of damage and inconveniently pulling you closer to the edge of the pool, the lake of blood, and knocking you from your feet. You're on your sides, lying on the ground, overlooking a lake of blood.
Tony, I recognize that you're wearing a red shirt with a drop on it.
That's just a coincidence.
Was this foreshadowing?
I don't even know why you would say that. All right, Melik, you are next.
All right. Well, this got serious.
Did it?
I will. Yep.
Oh man, is it real now?
Yep. I will step forward and cast the Charm of Misplaced Wrath
Ooh, I like that
on
one.
the southern statue, the one we have dubbed Grace.
Mm.
I'm going to try to make it attack Will, the northern statue.
Do you want to make a perception check about the range of the whips, just because that might affect your plans?
Sure. Perception. Oh, I don't have a great perception at all. Unless I roll great. 21.
Monty, you study the chamber carefully and think about where you were standing and how you were just out of range of the whip, and that leads you to believe that the statues are not within range of each other. In fact,
What is the range of these whips?
yeah, I'm going to tell you because you rolled really high, right?
Looks 3.
Yeah.
Can you see that green square?
Yeah.
That's 1 whip. How's that?
Great.
That's a long whip. But
get
yeah,
that a
not
lot.
quite enough to get its.
So I'm 2 squares
compatriot.
to get to there. Can I continue my move then? Or
I'll allow it. You can't break it up with actions, but you haven't taken an action.
But in 4th edition, if you move out of any square that it threatens,
Oh,
it gets an
you're
opportunity attack.
This does not have.
we'll find out
Reactions?
because that was
Yeah.
my move.
Yeah, it does not have that ability.
So as I entered its range, I realized, oh, if I keep running all the way over here, maybe it can't reach me in this spot. Lovely. Now it's going to get not the charm of misplaced wrath, but grasping shadows. Shadows grasping at you. This is also intelligence versus will.
Mm-hmm.
I've rolled a 17.
The statue's will is higher than 17.
Okay.
I don't really understand this from everything I know about statues in my life, but
it's hard to hypnotize a statue. I get that.
I don't think they make eye contact.
The dude's name is Will. You would think you would not.
Well, the good news is because that was an encounter power, it still has an effect.
Oh.
Shadows writhe in the designated area. Obviously, I'm just centering it around this jerk. And continue until the end of your next turn. Any creature that enters the area takes psychic damage and is slowed.
Okay.
That's probably not going to happen.
So including your friends.
It does include my friends.
So don't jump on the statue. It's full
Not
of
that
wrath.
useful. Sorry, everybody.
Full of writhing chaos now.
I will call out, get this far away from it, and it can't whip you.
But first, you have to stand up.
Rizwin, you are next.
Well, I'm clearly not going to enter the range of the whip. However, I am going to Sacred Flame it again.
All right, roll.
Let's see. 1d20 plus 7. A 23 versus AC.
That definitely hits.
Sweet. 1d6 plus 4. 7 damage. Does anybody need to make any kind of saving throws right now?
I don't think so.
I have imposed any saving throw
Great.
conditions yet.
Fantastic. Then somebody else, let's see, either Flesser or Peter gets 4 temporary hit points.
Who wants them?
Who wants them?
Let Flessa have them.
Flessa,
Okay.
you get 4 more temporary hit points.
Well, I think she burned the last ones already. So,
Yeah, the last ones are gone, so I appreciate
just,
it.
just a note, Riz, when she didn't take really good care of the last ones. So.
Fair. And then I'm also going to cast Favor of the Gods on Flessa, which means the next time that Flessa misses with an attack roll, she can re-roll her attack roll.
That is a very good choice to cast that on a striker. Cool.
And I'm
Peter,
done.
you're lying on the ground. There's a monster, statue, minotaur, horrible creature.
Yep.
The smell of blood is fresh in your nose. It is not your own blood. It's a lake of blood because this is the Chamber of Blood.
Peter crawls into the corner
Okay.
and then stands
Aw.
up,
Yep.
and that's it. That's the end of his
That's
turn.
it?
He's just going to stand there.
Okay. He commands from the corner.
He's got nothing to do. He can't. This is not a situation that he can do anything.
This is not
with.
a Peter puzzle.
Nope.
Olestrin,
Yes.
you stand confidently back in the hallway,
That's-
far from the doorway, farther even from the Chamber of Blood,
Yeah.
cloaked in safety and your earthy smell.
Confidence is all about hiding out in the hallway.
Indeed. What would you like to do?
I'm going to shoot more arrows because that's the other thing I can do.
What is the other thing you do?
Well, the first thing is I'm going to make that guy my quarry,
Oh,
which I can do now.
Whoa.
So you are my quarry, you stupid statue. And then I'm going to shoot. You said it looked pretty banged up already after just taking a couple of hits.
I said I made sure that you could tell that you were doing damage to it.
Okay. Well, why don't we go ahead and do a two-fanged strike then? I'll take 2 shots at him.
Why shoot one arrow when you can shoot 2 arrows?
Well, because the first one is a critical fail.
Ouch.
Or it would be if I didn't have elven accuracy.
Nice.
So let's try that one again. That's a little bit better. That one is 27.
That hits. Roll damage.
Yep. That one will do 14 damage.
All right.
It's another arrow forthcoming.
Your second fang.
The second of 2 fangs. That one's not great. That is a 16.
16 does not hit the armor class of a Minotaur Bloodtaker statue.
Well, let's see what happens when it rebounds off of that statue and hits the other statue on the other end of the room, shall we?
Oh, that's an interesting attempt.
That is a 21 versus AC on the other statue.
Roll damage.
Okay. That is 12 damage.
All right. And I assume that statue is still within range of your attacks because longbows.
I can basically.
Longbows are long.
It's right in the name.
I can shoot about 1,000 feet.
That statue, which had done nothing to nobody,
Yeah.
gets hit in the head with an arrow and suddenly starts spinning its whip around, looking very taken aback.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have woken it up.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh,
It
well,
did whip
indeed.
two of us
You know what?
already.
I was
No,
smart
this
enough
is the
to.
other one.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
apparently smart enough to remember to make that guy my quarry, but not smart enough to take quarry damage on that.
Do you want
arrow,
to add me some quarry damage?
Yeah, I got a 6.
All right. Oh, you only do quarry damage once a turn.
Yes.
All right.
Well, and that was the only time I hit that one.
Falessa, you are next if Alestrin is done.
I am done.
As a minor
Lying-
action,
lying
I'm
on
going
the
to.
ground.
As a minor action, I'm going to stand up because
Is that
I'm
a
wearing acrobatic boots, baby.
Okay. I was just
Yep.
going to ask, is that a boots thing or a rogue thing?
That is
So-
a boots thing, and it's an at will, so I can do it again if I have to. So I stick out my tongue at it after I have poinged up. Basically, I do a kip, like when you're lying flat on your back, just like Tom Holland did in that amazing lip sync battle thing at the end. Like he pops up from laying down onto my feet, stick out my tongue, and sly flourish it again. Ugh. I am not so sly today. That's a 16. That's not enough to hit.
Not
You can
enough
reroll
to
it.
hit.
So I'm going to use my heroic effort because I'm a
Favor the
human.
gods. Oh, you also have Favor the Gods, but maybe heroic effort is enough.
How long does Favor of the Gods last?
Until the end of my next turn.
Oh, okay. So then maybe I will
wait.
hang on to heroic effort.
They're very fickle.
Yep. All right. Then I will just reroll instead. That time I rolled. Let's see, 17.
Do you want to apply heroic effort to that?
Now I am going to apply heroic effort.
Roll me damage.
Yes. Yes, I will.
Guys, you're not supposed to touch your face, but you guys keep doing things that make me hit my forehead.
I really want to do sneak attack damage on this thing, but I don't have a good way to daze it without getting up close to it. So stupid blood.
Stupid blood indeed.
Yeah, it is. I don't like it. So that is 11 points of damage.
All right. That statue, it's still moving. It's still fully animatronic, but there's kind of like some sparks coming out and some grinding noises. And it's definitely, you guys have scuffed it up pretty bad. It does not look like it's long for this world, if you can call it a world. It's a chamber of blood. It's not long for this
All
chamber
right.
of blood.
But is it bloodied?
It's beyond. I mean, it's a trap, so it doesn't have blood. It's a minotaur. It's really bad.
Wait a
It's
minute.
worth-
It has all that blood that's
Bleeding
laying around on
oil.
the floor.
It is rich in blood, is what I'm saying.
That is its tragedy, you see. It collects blood, but it can actually have the blood.
The real treasure is
Blood everywhere and not a drop to drink.
the real treasure is the blood this minotaur statue collected along the way. Akron,
Nope, not yet,
Nope.
because I still have a move action because it was only a minor to stand
you
up.
don't want to stand here all by yourself in range of the minotaur's whip.
Nope, I'm thinking that's not a great idea. I do have a question about the grasping shadows that are on the square there with the statue. Are those just if you touch the ground, or are they just sort of all around?
They're all around. If you enter the area, it's
Okay.
bad.
Then I won't. Then I will just move over and stand next to Melik. I say, "Hey, boss."
Hey, good work.
Thank you. And then I'm done with my turn.
Great job.
All right. Akrid.
1, 2,
I got a plan, by the way.
4. Yay! Says Flessa. All right. So Akrid is going to go, let's see. Does she have anything ranged? Yeah, see, we need to be able to get closer to these things so that Akrid can tell people to attack them. But
We actually don't.
oh, maybe we don't. But the Akrid thinks that somebody needs to get closer because she can only tell people to do melee attacks. She has a ranged basic, but what is her ranged weapon? Let's see.
Probably a javelin.
By the way, what's Murray doing while all this is happening?
No, it says unarmed. So it
Murray
doesn't look
is
like
Murray is in the hallway facing west. Murray's like, what's going on? You guys were supposed to tell me about stuff. No intruders are advancing from the west.
Excellent. You're a valued member of the team, Murray.
Let's see. So yeah, Akrid apparently under ranged. It says unarmed, so I don't think she even has any javelins unless she's picked some up along the way, which I don't recall. But you know what she does have is dragon breath. So yeah, we'll say she moved one more square so that she can get this thing in her dragon breath and try to see what its reflex looks like. So that is a 23 versus reflex.
It's not that good.
Hurrah. And let's see. It's a d6 plus 2, so that is 7 damage. And it's acid damage.
That statue is hanging on by a thread made of brass, a thread that is also a whip. This description doesn't really make any sense at this point.
Akrid also gets combat advantage against it until the start of her next turn. So, my God, she's got to have something she can just throw at it, right? Like
we got a skull
in her package.
I think you need to get Murray in there. I want to see what happens when he gets hit by a rotating whip. I imagine it's a little like throwing a pair of socks up into a ceiling fan.
Yeah, I don't think Murray has a lot of
an experience that we are all very familiar with.
You have to be. Come on. It's the best.
I mean, she's got some, like, I don't have all of George's stuff here. So she has an adventurer's kit. Is there something like rock-like in an adventurer's kit? Are there rocks on the ground here?
There's a rock on the ground. There's one rock.
All right, then I'm just going to have...
found it. Good job.
There's a vial of bees over in a different room.
Statues hate bees.
Oh, and even though I have combat advantage, didn't need it because Akrid just crit with a rock.
All right. Wait, had Akrid not already attacked? I thought, what did the 7 damage?
That's a minor. It's a minor for
All right.
Dragon Breath.
Akrid stares around the dungeon floor with her brassy eyes and finds a nice fist-sized chunk of rubble and picks it up and like really does like a cartoon wind up and flings it and nails the statue
right between
the eyes, and it like starts whipping backward for a second and then kind of like basically it's like its back broke and it just kind of snaps and flops over.
Does it fall into the blood, or is it
just... looks like it's pretty cemented to the platform, so it's just kind of fidgeting and sparking.
Okay.
The whip lies kind of just...
How does it go? I'm sorry, I missed it. I looked away right at that moment. Okay, now I got it.
Akrid says, "Take that, you foul thing."
All right.
Nice.
Well, that's exciting. I didn't expect that to happen right then. And as if on cue, and not a thing that was totally going to happen no matter what, several creatures emerge from the blood.
Huh.
My plan has changed. I was just going to mage hand around all of this whip area, grab these keys, and leave.
So these are horrible blood monsters. They rolled an initiative of 6, and they're coming for your blood.
Cool.
But I like my blood.
So there's 2, one on each kind of side of the platform. It looks like they were reclining in the blood well outside the Minotaur's whip reach. And one of them kind of splashes over in the blood and is still perched in the blood and reaches out with horrible tendril claws and takes a slice out of Flessa, or it tends to at least.
Miss.
This is a claw attack. That is a 22.
Yeah, that it doesn't matter what it's against. It.
All right, you will take 8 damage as he
4,
slices
I
at
have
your angles.
4 temporary hit points.
Well, I mean,
Thank
you still
you,
took 8
Ogma.
damage, but you know. Peter, a horrible creature from the abyss, slides out of the blood up onto the platform next to you.
Oh, come on. I said I didn't want to
dripping.
give any more blood away.
dripping with blood as he comes for your blood. That will be a 23 versus armor class.
Again, my armor class is 23.
All right. You will take, 11 damage.
Dude.
Great.
The creature, it's humanoid looking. It looks like it's got these horrible claws at the end of its kind of weird long arms, and it's got a face that's just like, its mouth is much too big and filled with many needle-like teeth. Two kind of yellowy eyes blink at you through the blood. It looks like it might have some kind of horns going on there too. It's really hard to tell the exact shape and nature of this creature when it is just dripping with blood and other things that come in blood.
Great.
Yeah,
Like
great. Good times.
Hemoglobin?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hemoglobin.
It's a hemogoblin.
No, it's not. It's worse than that.
It's a hemogoblin.
The statue goes next. The statue swings its whip. Nothing is within range of the statue.
It's a blood bear.
Melik, you stand on a platform behind.
Acrid's in range.
Sorry.
You should move your square, Tony.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Acrid took out that statue. I should put a token on it. Right.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
some of us helped.
Put that great big red X over it so we know.
That's what.
Yeah.
All right, so the faraway statue, the southern statue, if you will, swings its whip around with one arrow lodged into its head. Melik, you are next. You stand next to Flessa, who stands in front of a horrible creature from the abyss. Yeah.
I'll take that as my prompt. I'll
Yeah.
walk over here. I will create a mage hand 5 squares away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
And can I then move it, or do I have to wait?
Wait, did Murray just fall to the floor in the hallway?
I think May Ray was already just on the ground.
Oh.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
He's got to be wondering what's going on in here. It probably sounds really weird.
And for I already did my move action. Well, I messed up.
Oh.
I should have stayed where I was. Can I stay where I was and still mage hand, or just
Sure.
All right. I was here. I will create a mage hand 5 squares away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here.
Nice.
And then for my move, I will move it 5 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then move it a little to the side so it's right there.
Can you
Right
see this hand that I put on the map for you?
That's the one
Yeah.
right there. That is where my mage hand is. Out of the whip's range, but very close to what looks like a key.
All right.
I don't
Can the
think the
mage
whip
hand
can hit a mage hand anyway, can it?
Monty, you should now be able to move that hand around if I've done this correctly.
Woo, woo. Great,
Put that
thank
back.
you.
Nice.
Okay. Now, Melik, you can see that there's a shiny object on this pedestal far away on the other side of the chamber.
Yeah.
And so certainly you can send your hand there. But we're getting into hands and eyes, people.
Yeah.
You're still far away. You don't necessarily know what's there.
Right, but I can grab at it with a hand.
Okay. I am saying, do I owe you an explanation of what the hand is grabbing at? And it sounds like
No.
No? All right, good. We're all on the same page. Maybe you could level up and get a hand with an eye in it at like level 10.
Oh, creepy. No, please don't.
That
Have you guys met Melik?
Yeah.
Well, Melik, your friend is being murdered by a horrible blood demon, but you spent your time doing hand shenanigans.
That's right.
Rizwin, you're
As
next.
usual.
Hand shenanigans. That's a great title.
Jason, write it down.
I got it.
So let's see.
Jason,
I'm right
Jason,
here.
you should still write it down. I'm
All
concerned
right,
about your penmanship.
all right, it's very bad.
I'm gonna move here. Let's see. This demon is within 5 squares, right?
I think if he's not, you could move a little. You could certainly put them within 5.
Peter, how you doing? How's Peter looking?
I'm almost bloodied.
Oh,
I've taken 2 hits for 22 total points of damage.
Okay. How is Flessa looking? From like
I'm a little bit over bloodied, so I'm not bloodied yet. I'm at 21 out of 37.
Okay. So, I guess the big question is, okay, well, I am going to Sacred Flame the one near Peter, and see if 1d20 versus reflex. Go, gadget. Roll 20. 20 versus reflex.
This creature does not seem very nimble. And so you're Sacred Flaming it?
Yes.
Can you tell me what kind of damage Sacred Flame does?
Yes, it is radiant and divine.
Let me tell you, this creature doesn't like that.
Nice.
Ooh.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna roll damage, which is 1d6 plus 4. 9 damage.
I'm going to tell you, it looked, if you had to give it a number, it looked more like it did like 14 damage.
Sweet.
Nice.
And Peter gained 4 temporary hit points.
Yay.
Take good care of them.
That's right.
I probably
He won't.
Does anybody who looks worse, Flessa or Peter?
well, now I am with the temporary hit points. I would say that I'm 6 points above bloodied. I have 29.
I'm 3. I'm 3 above bloodied.
So Flessa looks slightly
Just-
worse.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'm going to cast Healing Word on Flessa. So, Flessa, you can spend a healing surge. 1d6.
At a certain point, the challenge will be that you will run out of healing surges.
Yeah.
Right. I have half my healing surges at this point.
If we really took a long rest, we should have all
Do
of
I
them.
also get something added
I
to
think
that?
we don't think you did, right?
Okay. We must not have.
Yeah, Flessa, you get 3 extra hit points from your healing surge.
Yay,
I
thank you.
loved this. It's 2
Yeah, that's
plus,
right.
plus my healer's chainmail.
After we took out the champion, we left quickly because we were by the chieftain's room. So that's right.
Yes.
I don't think we have rested longly.
No.
And I am done.
All right. Peter, you have some temporary hit points. You also have a new friend who wants to kill you.
I want to kill him because he took my blood. He took my blood. And so I'm rolling, and it's a 29 versus AC.
Okay, that's unnecessary. Yep.
And that's going to do 7 radiant damage.
I'm just gonna write down 12. No reason.
Mhm.
Anything else?
No, that's pretty much all I can do.
All right. Olestrin, you don't know what's going on in that room. The statues no longer looks threatening, but it sounds like there's some bad stuff happening.
Yeah.
Possibly to your left and
My
right.
elven eyes can assess things pretty quickly. All right, you're about to hear something.
Like around a corner?
You're about to hear something that you don't hear very often. Olestrin runs into the room,
No.
What?
except not really, because if I run, then I end up with giving combat advantage. So I'm going to speed
All right,
walk
so-
into the room.
You electric slide into the room.
Yeah,
Got
I
it.
do. All right, and then I'm going to turn to my left and take a shot at the dude that's, or I don't know, the check maybe, whatever this creature is that's menacing Flessa. Ooh, not great. That would be a 15 versus AC.
Your shot goes wide.
Okay, in that case, I will pivot on the spot and take a shot at the one that's menacing Peter.
What are you doing to do 2 attacks?
It's a twin strike.
Okay.
So that's a 23 versus AC.
That hits. I like that you have a full 180 degree like arrow range field of view.
It's somewhat, less embarrassing.
Yeah.
That only does 5 damage, however, to the guy that I forgot
only
to mark
you had
as my
marked
quarry.
somebody as your
Well, it
quarry.
would have had to be the one in front of Flessa anyway, because he's
Yeah.
closer. So
I'm sure by the time you hit level 5, you'll get it.
no,
Oh.
I won't.
Flessa and Acrid, you're up next.
All right. There is a thing in front of me,
Mm.
and I'm going to do a dazing strike at it. See if I can daze it, if that's a thing. 25 versus AC.
Yeah, I'll tell you, anything above 20 is going to hit these horrible monsters.
Okay. So that is 9 points of damage. And it is dazed until the end of my next turn. And I have a minor action called a low slash, which I will do now. And that is 26 with the combat advantage that I
Yep.
now have because it's dazed. And let's see. The normal damage is max damage, so that's 10 damage plus my sneak attack, which has been so long. I think it's 2d8.
I believe so.
Okay. Ugh, 3. Not great. Not great sneak attack damage there.
So was that 13 total?
Yes.
Sounds better than nothing.
And I don't like being right in front of it, but I don't want to waste my tumble, so I will just stay here. How does it look after all that?
Not that bad. I mean, except that it's a horrible monster that climbed out of a pool of blood.
Okay.
And
Well,
that's
I did just get healed up, and
Yeah.
I'm cranky, so I'm just gonna stay here,
All
right in front of it. Acrid.
So Flessa has gone. Acrid will be next in this horrible battle in the Chamber of Blood. You have defeated
I mean,
one
it's an okay
Blood
battle.
Taker
It's-
Minotaur.
It's not that terrible. I mean, it's fine.
This so battle in the Chamber of Blood. You have defeated one Blood Taker Minotaur. You have fought 2 horrible creatures from the abyss. But what horrors wait beneath the surface of this bloody waves? Will you actually fight that other statue or just plink away at it from the safe distance? What's the deal with Melik's creepy hand that's floating around? For answers to questions such as these,
But not these.
tune in next time to Total Party Kill. Goodbye, nerds.